Hey peoples, welcome back to Empowered Independence, a vlog series hosted by me, Ketsa, and today we're talking the best resources available out there for independent artists ready to crush it. Now, there are countless organisations and companies that claim to offer services to further an independent artist's career. From sites like Music X-Ray and Taxi to Songtrader, SoundCloud and Bandcamp, it's a minefield. And it's hard for an independent artist to know where to start or where to put the resources into for the best results. Obviously, every artist's journey is totally different, and this is by far from an exhaustive list. It's just a reflection on my own experience trying to make it in a very saturated market. Before I found my way, I had experience with every organisation I'll be talking about today. So firstly, I'm going to chat about some services that I didn't find very helpful: Music X-Ray and Taxi. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure other artists have been helped by these sites, but one thing truly annoys me about their business models: they make a lot of money off independent artists. These are paid-for services, where the artist pays an amount of money to submit their track to different music professionals. It could be a publisher looking for tracks for their library, or a specific project, like a certain style of track for a film. Some of these submission fees are up to $25 just to submit a track. Unnecessary extra expense for already strapped budgets. I had a successful audition for Music X-Ray with an American publisher. Though I was excited at the time, all the publisher did was take 30 tracks of mine exclusively for his library, and there they have sat for 8 years doing nothing. With what I know now, there's no way I would ever give exclusive control of my music to anyone. I essentially paid a publisher to put my tracks into his exclusive library. Never again. Although I'm sure people have had success with Music X-Ray, these companies that ask for fees from independent artists trying to make it are generally ones I avoid. This goes for Taxi and Songtrader too, and a host of other companies that might email you out of the blue saying they love your music and would you want to audition with their great company for a fee. Even if you have a successful audition, say for a well-paid project for a film that needs an action track, there'll be 100 other successful auditions for that same project, and those tracks will go into a pool of tracks that the publisher will eventually choose one from. Percentage rates of conversion to actual work are pretty slim. To me, the best resources for independent artists are ones that A, simplify the music production process and help it sound professional, B, give the biggest amount of exposure for free to an artist, and C, empower independent artists with the tools they need to start earning. Making your music sound up to commercial level is very important. You might make great songs, but if they sound whack, they're going to be discounted pretty quickly by most people. One of the best resources for an independent artist in this respect are online mastering services. Back in the day when I used to make dance music and have vinyl releases, mastering a few tracks would be hundreds of pounds, but it was an essential stage that lifts a production to the commercial level. It was also great to get a trained outsider's ear at these finishing stages. Nowadays, I can get a subscription to an online mastering service and master as many tracks as I need in a year for less than what it used to cost me to master one track. Of course, there are many arguments that a digital ear can never be better than a trained human's ear. And while this may be true, the evolution of these online mastering services and how much they've improved in such a short space of time is amazing. For an independent artist, it's not realistic to be able to spend £200 to £300 to master an album each time we want to release something. I'm still meeting artists to this day who are unaware of these kinds of services. So for me, one of the best resources I've found is eMastered. There are others like Landa and Aria, but personally having tried them all, eMastered has the best in terms of value, sound quality and choice of master. If you're like me and write hundreds of tracks a year, a subscription license to eMastered works out at less than £1 a master, and for the quality, this is incredible. In another video, we'll break down the differences between these online mastering services and what they offer. It's also important to note that you can't polish a turd. Before being sent to mastering, your track needs to be mixed and recorded well. There's many online tutorials available for this, and there's no need for expensive courses. So once your track sounds dope, what to do with it? So many options. There's the usual route: digital distributor, Spotify, playlists, streaming revenue, Bandcamp, etc., etc. All good options that with work and cultivating can produce good results. I'm personally with the digital distributor AWAL and have released maybe about 100 tracks with them for streaming on Spotify, etc. Getting on playlists often is a good way of generating some income, and it's definitely worth considering getting some music on there, but be warned, as this is the usual route for most producers and bands. It's a very saturated market, and getting the attention your music deserves can be slow and hard going. So personally, although I make use of all Spotify, Bandcamp and SoundCloud, they're certainly not my main focus. Most independent artists would first want their music to be heard by as many people as possible over making money. And truly, there's only one website in the world that has the community and opportunities to get your music attention pretty much immediately, the Free Music Archive. So my second valuable resource for independent artists is the FMA. Started in 2009 as a repository to find royalty-free music that was either free or cheap to license, the FMA has grown into a massive library of CC music and spawned many successful independent artists' careers. If you'd like to know more about the different CC licenses, make sure to check our definitive guide. Since finding a home there, my music has been streamed and downloaded millions of times, licensed for thousands of commercial projects, and it has literally transformed my career. From my music just sitting on my computer, it has gone all around the world, listened to by millions. I could have only have dreamt that 10 years ago. I've had my music used in a Volvo TV commercial, National Geographic documentaries, the Times newspapers podcast, Forbes, The Atlantic, Vice Media, Nissan, Greenpeace, many, many more. None of this would have happened without the FMA. There are millions of content creators, fans and companies perusing the site every day. The FMA enables users to download and stream for free, especially useful for content creators to try out different soundtracks. And if a content creator wants to license a track of mine to use in a derivative or commercial project, they come to my licensing site, Ketsa.uk or IML Collective.uk to purchase a perpetual use license. Selling licenses from your own website is an amazing way to create an income from your music, and many of us artists from the FMA are doing exactly that. Essentially, we've become our own music publisher, and our library is exclusively our own music. We keep 100% of any fee obtained. This provides the main bulk of my music income, and it's a model that would benefit many and an independent artist. At the IMLC, we can help with every stage of this process, so make sure you check out our website. And this leads us nicely into our last best resource for independent artists ready to start crushing it. And that's royalty-free music licensing websites. As I've mentioned, selling royalty-free music licenses from my own site is my main income. However, as you're starting out on the journey, you'll unlikely have the budget to get a website built. Therefore, it's great to be able to get your music onto royalty-free music licensing websites, of which there are plenty. Be warned, only ever give your music to sites offering non-exclusive deals. Check the profit split to make sure it's fair. Any 80-20 split in the company's favour, for example, avoid. Some good ones that have my support are Tribe of Noise, Beatpick, and of course, the IMLC. These sites are great as they offer a fair split to the artist and actually get you work. Tribe of Noise is actually the parent company of the FMA, and really they saved it from dissolution in 2019, for which I'll always be grateful to them. On top of this, they also actively seek to find music for their in-store streaming contracts, streaming royalty-free music in various stores globally, and collecting payments for independent artists on their program. They'll also license your tracks commercially, and their split is favourable to the artist. Definitely one of the better sites to look into, especially in conjunction with the FMA. There are of course also the big boys, Epidemic and Artlist, but personally I'm not a huge fan of either. But if artists can generate extra income from being on these sites, then more power to them. And finally, I can't end without mentioning the IMLC, where we offer numerous services to artists you will not find anywhere else, like offering to build your own licensing website for a ridiculously small fee, protecting our artists' copyright and extraction of payments for improper use of music, as well as, of course, the chance to become part of our non-exclusive licensing library and receive pro rata payouts and memberships to our service. Although I'm co-founder, I'm also in there as an artist and have already received some great payouts. We definitely empower artists to start earning from our model, so come and check us out. So I hope you found this useful, and if so, remember to like, share, subscribe, all that sweet goodness. Check you in the next one. Peace.